Yo! We're back. Kagurabachi chapter 122. This one's gonna be yap-tastic. I'm real good at inventing new words in these videos, aren't I? Alright, let's get into it because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about and we have people to glaze. I feel vindicated. I feel ready. Oh, Hokuzono, he's not gay, bro. He's not name-dropping, Yamato no Orochi and then just ignoring it for the rest of the story, alright? When he plants a seed like Kaichi and Kazane and Flamebone and all those things, he's not just sidelining them, bro. I know there are lots of people calling for Hokuzono's head. They're like, he hates women, he's a misogynist because Hiyuki does some really cool stuff and then he deleted her from the story and we're never gonna see her again. This chapter's got me excited. Let's just go through it, okay? We start off, Subaru Urita talking to Kunishige about rice balls, bruv. Kunishige then shits on him for writing that dead book of misinformation. Subaru tries to, act nonchalant and save himself by going, it's just rage bait, bro. It's just rage bait to, filter out the crappy swordsman. Kunishige is not having it. But he's here for the rice balls. Anyway, they have a little yap session, blah, blah, blah. Kunishige wants to make the greatest sword ever. And I think by the end of it, Subaru was like, yo, you want me to be your sponsor? You want me to, fund it? Because I got bare money and you're kind of a bum. I feel like that's how we left off. It wasn't clear enough. I should be really sad by this because, Mashiro and Hiroto and Yoshinojo are dead and Shiba's deeply traumatized. But when I saw this image, I just couldn't help, but giggle a bit because why is Hiroto that short, bro? Why is he actually the smallest? Anyway, Ichiki. Yeah, we see Ichiki and a load of the Kamanabi heads. So, Kazen and Izuru and the weird scarf guy with the worst drip in human history. A lot of them are, from the modern day are missing. There's no Yatsuru, there's no other people like Azami and the fucking big dude, and they're basically sat there just going, oh yeah, we're cooked, bruv. This guy took out, they literally say, I promise you they say this, he took out the strongest squad of sorcerers we've ever assembled. Hiroto Soga stated #1. And then it says Mashiro, Yoshinojo, and Shiba are all no less capable than Hiroto. They all get hella glazed. So it's meant to be Aryu low diffed them. It wasn't even close by himself. And there are 5 other warriors just like him. Chalked. Done. It's over, bro. It's GG. Then also because they lost, the Mikaboshi then altered their demands by keeping everything that they had asked for before and now saying that they wanted to be given Princess Soga. Because back in the day, the reason that Mr. Ukizane, I think his name is, decided to just sink their entire island with Kurosuchi is because at the time, the prophecy-telling woman decided, well, not decided, but she apparently saw a vision and was like, oh my god, they're gonna do some bad stuff, kill them all. It feels a bit Attack on Titan, you know what I mean? It's this side says they did bad thing, this side said they did bad thing. It's been too long. Does anyone actually know the true history of 1,000 years ago with an unbiased perspective? Probably not. I don't know what all that's about. But what I do know is that Aryu's dad, bro, Mr. King, he's moving bare weird, bro.
It's not looking good, Bev.
The princess will bear my child. Bro, you're 409. She's what? 18. Relax. It's not even about ages at this point. She doesn't want to. Chiaki doesn't want tea. She doesn't want tea. You can't force people to drink tea. Akamura, I don't condone what you did. But this guy needs to go, bro. I'm just saying. Yeah, but the whole idea is they want to wipe out the Soga clan, but they also realize that the Soga blood is very valuable, so they want to get the Soga blood into their bloodline and basically usurp the Soga clan and replace them. They want to be the new Soga clan. Eventually down the line, if they have the blood, they should get the Kurosuchi, they should get the prophecy ability, and it's basically the ultimate combination of Soga and Mikaboshi. That's the idea behind it, right? Which is weird, because, a couple chapters ago when we started seeing the abilities that were being wielded by the Mikaboshi and the sort of abilities that were being wielded by sorcerers such as Mashiro, I pointed out how it's looking more and more like the Magatsumi is as strong as it is because Kunishige found a way to basically mix the power of the Soga with the power of the Mikaboshi. You've got the insect themes and the power of Datenseki mixed in with the actual functions of what Japanese sorcery can do, such as, the kind of black energy that is created by the Kurosuchi thing and the gravity effect, which is the same as Centipede. I looked at that and I was like, Magatsumi is the combination of both. How do you beat one or the other? You have to combine both and create something stronger. It seems like that's what this old dude wants to do as well, but Kunishige beat him to it in the end. At least I hope he did. That would be a crazy plot twist if there is a new crown prince out there who's both Soga and Mikaboshi. That would just be a walking Magatsumi. I don't even want to think about that. Yo, I have an important announcement. Sorry, I'm interrupting myself, but stay to watch this. A good friend of mine, DJ Miles, content creator, has very kindly sent me this. This is merch on his store Nen Garden, which you can get for 8% off by using code Allons with the link in the description below. I don't normally do these, by the way, so like I'm doing this purely out of, I had no intention when he sent it to me of like, it wasn't for the purpose of doing a promotion at all. I just looked at it and I was like, damn bro, this is sakana, meaning fish. I know a lot of work went into the design and I was like, damn, that's hella cool. So he was kind enough to send me one and I was like, do you want me to promote it? Just press that little link below, take you right to the shop and get yourself one of these because it is dope. But yeah, and then we cut back to Chiaki, who had a series of visions and passed out, and she says one line, one spine-chilling line, she just says, there will be hell on earth. That's what she saw. She saw hell on earth. I know exactly what the image that she saw in her mind is, though. Go back to chapter 6. This is the first ever panel we get of the Seitei War. Easily the most action-packed panel we ever see of the Seitei War so far in the story. And on that panel, it literally says it became hell on earth. I know that's the image she saw. Peak. Hokuzono. Mwah! That's basically the gist of it. Now, the head of the Sorcery Bureau is like, well, we've been expanding our anti-sorcery strategic forces for the last 2 years, but realistically, throwing bodies at these guys isn't going to change anything if the 4 strongest dudes in history are not capable of taking him down. Look, you've got like Kudo and Big Dude and Rakuzaichi Dude and whoever this is. Those guys are like the up-and-coming sorcerers that they've put in this unit, so they're all hella strong. And then you've got the Masumi down there. Guess who gets his own little bit of emphasis? Yeah, Prodigy Azami. Fuck yeah, that's my goat. I need more of him in this flashback. Basically, they're doing the best they can to, you know, muster up a decent army with the sorcerers, but they know it's pointless. They need a way to actually defeat 5 of the warriors on par with Aryu, and it's not looking good. So, they resort to... Oh my god, I couldn't believe this when I scrolled the page. Finally, bro, we're 122 chapters in and I'm getting some payoff. Finally, the stocks are coming through. Kaichi. They have a stockpile of Kaichi, which translates to Demon Monster, and it is the ability that Kazane tried to use as the trump card against Genichi Sojo before getting blitzed, and it is the ability that, I think it was Giraffe Neck guy on the council said, well, thank God Kazane survived because now we still have Kaichi. But the way it's treated, and apparently the way it's spoken about in the actual Japanese version of the manga, is that Kaichi is kind of a one-use ability, or like a Kashimo or Maharaga-esque kind of thing. We can only really use it once. They have a stockpile. The implication here is that Kaichi is an Enchanted Blade level, or comparable to like that sort of level of power. And they have to be very careful about when they use them because of Aryu and the other Guardians' ability to, well, just all of their abilities to regenerate very effectively. And I guess also my question here with Flamebone and Kaichi is, would they even work against the Guardians? I don't think they would, because I think they're probably technically still sorcery, right? And Sumika nullifies sorcery, so regardless of how Enchanted Blade level Kaichi or Flamebone are, if they're not charged by Datanseki, they're probably not gonna do anything to these guys. At least they won't do anything to the Guardians. They'll obviously do something to the lower level warriors, you know, who are still crazy strong. And it is my theory that either the full, you know, power of Flamebone or Kaichi, Demon Monster, some kind of yokai thing, is probably the claw that we actually see on the battlefield in that same Chapter 6 Seitei War flashback. So they've confirmed, I'm gonna say it again, they've confirmed that Aryu took down the 4 strongest sorcerers that they've ever assembled on a squad, low diff, and that there are 5 other fighters on his level that they need to beat. And after saying that Kaichi probably won't be enough, one of them says, perhaps our only hope is the Flamebone of the Starving. Bro, they looked at that situation and went, there's only one thing. There's only one thing that can contest with this. Flamebone. Listen, Shiba, I love you, man. I love you, alright? But there was 4 of you against Aryu, and he did nothing. There was conversations before about how close Hiyuki and Shiba are, and I love glazing Shiba, you know I do, but I feel like in my mind now I've got it settled, bro. Hiyuki washes Shiba. Hiyuki is a different breed. When that statement in the beginning said Enchanted Blade level, it meant Enchanted Blade level, bro. What's very interesting, though, is we get Flamebone Law Drop. It is, we don't know if it's like an innate sorcery ability, a special kind of thing, like the storehouse in the Sazanami clan, like that's passed down. We don't know how it functions exactly, but it is something that resides in the Kagari clan. Now, at this point in time, Hiyuki will either be a baby, a toddler, or not born at all. We don't know how young she is, but she seems closer to Chihiro's age, like early 20s, kind of. So the point is, she's not around yet, all right? She's not involved in this. There'll be a different user. And what this guy here is saying is, the problem with, like, reaching out to the Kagari Kagari family is that sure, like they have access to Flamebone, but they haven't had an appropriate master in ages. If it gets out of control, and the Japanese puts a very specific emphasis, well, apparently it puts a very specific emphasis on the word tamed. It kind of feels similar to like Maharaga-esque situation where it acts as a kind of independent spirit or yokai or being or summon. You know, the way Hiyuki talks to it like an actual separate entity, and it creates body-like structures. I know we've theorized before that it works like a Susanoo, but it seems like something that needs taming and for you to gain a level of control over. So apparently the Kagura clan haven't actually had a user able to utilize it that well in ages, and if it got out of hand, it could relegate the entire continent to a scorched wasteland, which is insane. That's an insane statement, but it's false. It's a translation issue. It actually says the entire archipelago of Japan, which isn't a continent. Translators are just dumb as hell. All right, so it's not talking about the continent, just Japan. And it also doesn't mean it would be like one massive boom and bam, it's country level. It's just that they would lose control of the flames and the flames would keep on spreading as flames do until the whole area is burnt down. It's still insane though, don't get me wrong. The way they're talking about it, mad bro, mad. And the way it's framed as well right now, knowing Hiyuki isn't really around and that she is around later wielding the flame bone, and she's being told like, only use it up to the torso. We know you can use it more than that, but right now we have to restrict you because it's so broken. I think it's pretty strongly implicated, kind of, maybe a bit, that Hiyuki is an appropriate user. So yeah, I think Hiyuki would cook Samura, bro, I'm just saying.
Really? Wow.
Enchanter blade level. Anyway, end of the chapter, Kunishige walks in on Shiba. Shiba's out of bed already, looking at Mashiro's sword. He's having flashbacks, having little memories of Mashiro. When he asked Kunishige to make him the blade, he's all sad. Kunishige is like, bro, what are you doing out of bed? Go back to bed. And Shiba's like, no, I can't. I have to get up. I have to. And this is where Kunishige locks in. And then we see the book say, The Enchanted Blade Plan. March 21st, midnight, start. And that's the end of the chapter. Madness. Insane. And it's crazy because the Enchanted Blades weren't introduced into the war until much later, so the fact that the concept of them actually exists right now is very interesting because they're going to fight the war for a bit first and then introduce them later. So does it take like almost a year to make them? That's a bit crazy. But yeah, I think things are going to really pick up from here, and I cannot wait to see that war in action, especially if we get some more Flamebone and Kaichi drops. But goddamn, my Hiyuki stocks have never been higher. Oh my god. Keep bringing it, man. Please. Ah, it's so good. And yeah,